Okay, picture this. You wake up, grab your phone, right? But instead of seeing, news about a ballot box or a political rally or some debate, you're just asked to log into your digital wallet, that app holding your crypto and stuff, and vote
Yeah.
directly on chain. No politicians, no lobbyists, no paper ballots getting lost. Just you, your digital ID, and a DAO running the whole country. A decentralized autonomous organization. It sounds pretty wild, almost sci-fi, doesn't it?
It really does. Paints quite a picture.
And it gets right to the heart of what we're diving into today. Could a DAO, this blockchain system with smart contracts and voting, could it actually replace an entire government?
That's the big question.
So our mission here is to explore this really futuristic idea. We want to unpack the good stuff, the promises, but also the big challenges, the uncomfortable bits.
Yeah, give you kind of shortcut to understanding what this is all about.
Yeah.
Because it really touches on, the future of how we might organize ourselves.
It's a fascinating tension, isn't it? You've got this dream of like perfect transparency, total efficiency, a utopia almost.
But then you crash into the real world. The messy bits, human nature, crises, just how complex governing actually is.
Right. And the key thing, like you said, this isn't just theory anymore. People are actually trying this stuff out. Communities are experimenting.
Exactly. Pushing the boundaries.
So whether you're deep into crypto or just curious about where society's headed, how we make decisions together, this is definitely for you. Let's get into it. What is it about DAO governance that sounds so good? Why does it seem like this transparent, efficient utopia?
Well, the core appeal, I think, is just radical transparency. It's built in. With a DAO, every decision, every vote, every single transaction, it's all recorded on a public blockchain. Anyone can check it.
Okay, so not just saying it's transparent, it is transparent because of the tech.
Precisely. It's technical transparency baked in with cryptography. And think what that cuts out straight away. No secret backroom deals, right?
Yeah.
No dodgy amendments slipped into bills late at night. No mysterious funding sources you can't trace.
Yeah, the whole ledger is just open all the time.
The code is law. Literally. The rules are written into these things called smart contracts, and they just run automatically.
That's a huge promise, especially, when trust in traditional politics isn't exactly at an all-time high.
Definitely.
So the idea is an incorruptible system because the code just executes. But what about efficiency? You mentioned automated execution.
Right, so that means taking out the human middlemen and all the delays and potential for, well, let's be honest, corruption that can come with them. Imagine, say, deciding the national budget. You log in, you see maybe 3 proposals, more for schools, fix the roads, boost healthcare,
Okay.
citizens vote, and then boom, the smart contracts automatically send the money where the majority decided instantly.
Instantly. Wow.
Yeah. No delays, no bureaucratic hoops to jump through, and crucially, no pork barrel politics.
Ah, right, where politicians sneak in funding for their pet projects.
Exactly. None of that. The
Right.
code just does what the majority voted for. Full stop.
That kind of direct automated action,
Yeah,
it's really different. Cuts through a lot of the frustration people feel.
for sure.
And if you zoom out, this automation fuels this bigger dream, doesn't it? A kind of new world order. What does that look like in this vision?
Well, it's a vision where some of the really fundamental problems we have now are just engineered out. Think about taxes being collected totally fairly. No loopholes for the super rich because the rules are transparent and automated. Or policies that can't be twisted by powerful lobbyists or elites because the rules are coded, they're set, driven by what the actual participants want.
And it goes even further, right? Our source material mentions borders becoming less important.
Yeah, that's part of the vision. Instead of belonging to a country just because of where you were born, you might belong to a cloud nation.
A cloud nation.
Yeah, like an online community, maybe a global one, governed by a DAO that reflects your values wherever you happen to live physically.
So governance based on shared principles, not just geography, that's a radical shift.
It is, and it hinges on that idea you mentioned earlier, digital identity.
Right, the verifiable digital identity. Why is that so critical?
Well, for the voting to be fair, the DAO needs to know each vote is from a unique person.
Right.
To stop someone voting a million times.
Okay, like preventing fraud, the
Right.
Sybil attack problem.
Exactly. You need secure, verifiable digital IDs to ensure it's one person, one vote, or whatever voting mechanism is decided. It's key for the integrity of the whole thing. So the dream is this society built on shared values, written into code, executed without human error. or at least human malice.
Yeah.
And everyone gets a unique, authenticated voice.
It sounds incredibly appealing. I mean, who wouldn't want perfect transparency, perfect efficiency, no corruption?
Yeah.
But this is the deep dive. We know utopias usually have a catch. So where does this elegant code hit the messy reality of actually governing?
And that's the core tension, isn't it?
I know.
Governments don't just handle money or simple yes-no votes. They deal with enormous complexity, nuance,
Like what?
diplomacy, for instance,
Yeah.
international relations, crisis management. Think about a natural disaster or, a pandemic. These aren't things you can easily put to a simple mass vote.
I see that. Yeah, imagine the pandemic hitting again, and every decision, masks, lockdowns, vaccine rollout, relief funds, had to go through a DAO vote by everyone.
Right.
Would people vote fast enough? Could they? When things are changing hour by hour?
And would the majority always make the wisest choice, especially when fear is high, information is limited or confusing?
Couldn't that just become, well, mom rule? Overriding expert advice because the crowd gets swayed.
That's definitely a major concern. The wisdom of crowds works well for some things, but maybe not for a split second. Life or death decisions needing deep expertise or long-term strategy.
Yeah, things like national security, economic stability, they're way more complex than just dividing up a budget pool.
Relying purely on direct majority vote for everything, especially in a crisis, it can be incredibly risky. You could introduce huge instability.
And then there's the whole accountability question. It feels massive.
How so?
Well, in our current system, if a minister messes up badly, if their policies are a disaster, we can hold them accountable, right?
Yeah.
Fire them, vote them out, maybe even prosecute.
Okay, yeah. There are mechanisms, however imperfect.
But if the code makes a mistake, or if there's a bug, a vulnerability that gets exploited, the DAO just executes it anyway, exactly as written.
There's no person to fire, no one to vote out of office because the algorithm had a flaw.
Have we seen this happen?
Oh, absolutely. The classic, infamous example is the original Ethereum DAO hack back in 2016.
Ah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, a very clever attacker found a loophole, a way to exploit the code's logic, and basically drained millions of dollars worth of ether from the DAO's treasury.
And it just happened because the code allowed it.
Technically, yes. The code executed as
Yeah.
written, but it was completely against the intention of the community, and the fallout was huge.
What happened?
It caused this massive debate. What do you do when code is law? Leads to a catastrophic outcome nobody wanted. It actually led to Ethereum splitting a hard fork to effectively reverse the hack.
So they rolled it back.
Yes, but it was hugely controversial. It showed that even in this system designed for immutability, human judgment and consensus ultimately had to step in, overriding the pure code. It really challenged that core ideal.
That's fascinating. It wasn't just a technical problem, but a philosophical one.
Exactly.
And the source material uses a great analogy. It's like accidentally passing a law that gives away the entire national treasury.
Yeah.
No recall button, no parliament stepping in saying, hold on, no judge reviewing it, the code ran, the money was gone.
It really shows how that immutability, the thing that promises transparency, can also be this terrifying, irreversible trap if something goes wrong.
So it removes human error in one sense, but introduces code error or vulnerability to attack in another.
Precisely. And because it's automated, the consequences can be instant and massive,
Yeah.
with no easy way to hit pause or fix it without another huge, potentially divisive collective effort.
Okay, so we've got this powerful vision on one side, transparent, efficient, incorruptible. And on the other, the sheer complexity of society, crises, nuance, and this danger of irreversible code mistakes.
It's a huge gap to bridge.
So where does that leave us right now? Is this all just talk, or are people actually building these cloud nations and DAO-governed things today?
That's where it gets really interesting. So back to the main question. Could a DAO replace a government? Technically, maybe parts of it. The underlying tech, blockchain, smart contracts, they could handle some mechanics.
But practically.
Practically, probably not yet. Not entirely.
Sure.
For all the reasons we just discussed, the nuance, the crisis response, the accountability gaps, the tech plumbing for some bits might be there, but the societal, the ethical, the resilience plumbing, that's still very much being figured out.
Okay, so technically possible, practically not quite there.
But philosophically. And in terms of actual experiments,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's definitely happening already. This isn't just theory anymore.
Right, people are actively building and trying things.
Absolutely. You see projects like CityDAO, for example. They actually bought land in Wyoming, and the token holders vote on how to use it, manage it. It's like a mini DAO state almost.
Governing physical land with tokens.
Yeah. And then you have countless online communities built around shared digital treasuries. Members vote on funding projects, software development, marketing, everything. They are living labs for collective action.
So managing shared resources, digital or even physical, through token voting.
Exactly. And what's interesting, a key thing coming out of these experiments is that pure direct democracy, everyone votes on everything, often just grinds to a halt. It's too slow, too cumbersome.
Ah, okay. So what are they doing instead?
Many are exploring models like liquid democracy or having specialized groups like subDAOs or maybe elected experts handle specific complex areas. It suggests maybe a hybrid model is more workable, not a total replacement of any kind of representation.
That makes sense. So even within these experiments, they're realizing you still need some specialization or delegation to avoid gridlock or bad decisions. It's not just chaos.
Right. It's about finding new structures for collective intelligence, using the transparency and automation of DAOs to build systems they see as fairer or more responsive than the old ways. It's still a really bold vision, even with all the hurdles.
So maybe the question isn't if they replace governments entirely, but could they improve parts of them?
That's a great point. Could we take the best bits, the transparency, the automation for certain clear-cut functions, the direct participation, and integrate those into existing systems? Make them better, more accountable.
Yeah. Blend the worlds, perhaps?
The experiments are certainly teaching us a lot about what works and what doesn't.
Definitely. This has really laid out that tension, well, the dream of clean, efficient, code-based governance versus the messy, complex, unpredictable reality of human society.
It's a clash of ideals and practicalities.
So let's wrap up with that really sharp question from our source material. Something for everyone listening to chew on. The real question isn't whether DAOs can replace governments, it's whether people are ready to trust algorithms more than politicians.
That's the crux of it, isn't it? Think about what that really means. What would that shift imply for how you understand trust? Power, community, nationhood, especially now in this digital age.
Do you trust the code logical, maybe brittle, but immutable? Or do you trust people flawed, adaptable, but ultimately human?
It's a fundamental choice, and how we answer it will shape a lot about the future.
Powerful stuff indeed. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you feel a bit more clued in and maybe even more curious about where all this is heading.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll catch you next time.